crisp autumn air stung Mary Roberts' face as she stepped off the bus. She took a deep breath, savoring the familiar scent of fallen leaves and the faint hint of wood smoke in the air. October 20th, 1992 was a Tuesday, a seemingly ordinary day marked by the routine of daily life. It was a day like any other in the small town of Ashton. The streets were quiet, the townspeople going about their usual business, unaware of the impending mystery. Mary, a creature of habit, always took the 5:15 p.m. bus from her job at the library. She loved her job, surrounded by the comforting presence of books and the soft whispers of turning pages. She usually walked the short distance home, her worn copy of Wuthering Heights tucked under her arm. The book was her constant companion, a source of solace and escape. But on this day, Mary never reached her doorstep. The familiar path she took every day seemed to swallow her whole, leaving no trace behind. She vanished without a trace, leaving behind a mystery that would haunt Ashton for years to come. The townspeople were left in shock, their peaceful existence shattered by the inexplicable disappearance. The quaint houses lining Maple Street stood silent that evening. The usual sounds of life were absent, replaced by an eerie stillness. The setting sun cast long shadows, obscuring the path Mary usually took. The golden light of dusk seemed to hold secrets, whispering of things unseen. The silence was broken only by the distant bark of a dog, a sound that seemed to grow louder in the absence of other noises. A lonely sound that seemed to echo the growing unease in the pit of everyone's stomach. Where was Mary? The question lingered in the air unanswered, as the town of Ashton grappled with the unsettling reality that one of their own had simply vanished. Search parties were organized, flashlights cutting through the darkness as friends and neighbors scoured the woods and fields. But despite their efforts, no clues were found. The police investigation yielded no leads, and the case grew colder with each passing day. Theories and rumors spread, but none brought them any closer to the truth. Candlelight vigils were held, the flickering flames a symbol of hope and remembrance. Yet as the days turned into weeks, hope began to wane. The bus stop where Mary was last seen became a place of quiet reflection, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the mysteries that sometimes remain unsolved. Autumn turned to winter, and the leaves that once crunched underfoot were replaced by a blanket of snow. But the memory of Mary Roberts lingered, a ghostly presence in the hearts of those who knew her. Ashton would never be the same. The disappearance of Mary Roberts left an indelible mark on the town, a reminder that even in the most ordinary of places, the extraordinary can happen. Mary Roberts was not a woman who sought the limelight. Born and raised in Ashton, she was a quiet soul, content with the simple pleasures of life. She found solace in the company of books, spending countless hours at the Ashton Public Library. Her gentle nature endeared her to the townsfolk, who knew her as a kind and dependable friend. After her parents passed away, Mary chose to stay in their modest two-story home on Maple Street. She lived a quiet life, her days filled with books and her evenings spent tending to her small garden. She was a woman of routine, someone you could set your watch by. So, when she didn't show up for her Wednesday morning shift at the library, alarm bells started ringing. Panic set in quickly. The serene town of Ashton had never experienced such a jolt, and the sudden disappearance of Mary sent shockwaves through the community. The news of Mary's disappearance spread through Ashton like wildfire. It was as if the very heart of the town had been ripped out, leaving everyone in a state of disbelief and fear. Sheriff John Davis, a man hardened by years of service but softened by the warmth of the community he swore to protect, took the lead. His experience was vast, but nothing had prepared him for the emotional toll this case would take on him in the town. Search parties were hastily assembled. Friends, neighbors, and even strangers came together, united by a common goal: to find Mary and bring her home safely. Volunteers fanned out across the town and the surrounding woods, their calls of Mary's name echoing through the crisp autumn air. The forest, usually a place of tranquility, now felt ominous and foreboding. Every nook and cranny of Ashton was scrutinized. Basements, attics, abandoned buildings, no stone was left unturned in the desperate search. Forensics teams dusted for fingerprints at the bus stop where Mary was last seen. They meticulously combed through every piece of evidence, hoping for a breakthrough. Divers scoured the murky depths of Ashton Creek, a popular fishing spot near the edge of town. The water, usually teeming with life, now seemed to hold dark secrets. Days turned into weeks, and the initial hope that Mary would be found safe and sound dwindled with each passing hour. The once vibrant community gatherings now felt like somber vigils. The investigation hit a dead end, leaving the town grappling with more questions than answers. Where could Mary be? The sense of helplessness was palpable, and the weight of the unknown hung heavily over Ashton. The search for Mary had become more than just a mission. It was a testament to the town's resilience and determination to find one of their own. In the absence of concrete leads, rumors began to swirl through Ashton like the autumn leaves. Some whispered about a stranger seen lurking near the bus stop on the day of Mary's disappearance. Others pointed fingers at a local drifter, a man known for his heavy drinking and unpredictable temper. Theories ranging from the plausible to the outlandish became the town's preferred currency. Was Mary's disappearance a simple case of running away from a life that had become too mundane, or was there something more sinister at play? Something that sent chills down the spines of even the most hardened skeptics. Fear and suspicion cast a long shadow over Ashton, threatening to unravel the fabric of their once peaceful community. The most persistent rumor centered around a stranger, a man nobody recognized, who had been seen in Ashton in the days leading up to Mary's disappearance. Witnesses described him as tall and lanky, with a gaunt face perpetually hidden beneath a worn baseball cap. He spoke little, his eyes darting around with an unsettling intensity. This stranger, some whispered, had been seen talking to Mary at the library just days before she vanished. Had he been watching her, choosing her as his next target? The lack of concrete evidence only fueled the speculation, turning the stranger into a boogeyman, a spectre haunting the dreams of Ashton's residents. The disappearance of Mary Roberts tore a hole through the heart of her family. It was as if a piece of their very soul had been ripped away, leaving a void that could never be filled. The once lively and joyous household was now shrouded in a perpetual state of mourning, each member grappling with their own unique form of grief. Every holiday season was a painful reminder of their loss. The festive decorations and cheerful songs felt like cruel mockeries of their sorrow. The empty chair at the dinner table was a stark symbol of Mary's absence, a silent testament to the void she left behind. The family tried to carry on with their traditions, but the joy had been sucked out of these once cherished moments. Her brother, Thomas, a quiet and reserved man, became withdrawn, haunted by the unanswered questions surrounding his sister's fate. He would spend hours looking through old family photos, searching for some clue, some sign that he might have missed. The weight of the unknown pressed heavily on him, turning his once bright eyes dull with despair. He dedicated his life to keeping Mary's memory alive, tirelessly pursuing every lead, every whisper of information, clinging to the hope that one day he might find her. Thomas became a familiar face at the police station, always pushing for updates, always asking questions. He made countless phone calls, spoke to anyone who might have seen or heard something, anything that could bring him closer to finding Mary. The years weighed heavily on him, the relentless search taking its toll. His once youthful face grew lined with worry and exhaustion. Sleepless nights became the norm, and the burden of his quest seemed to age him prematurely. Yet despite the toll it took on his body and spirit, he could not bring himself to stop. Yet Thomas refused to give up. His determination was unwavering, fueled by the love he had for his sister and the hope that she was still out there somewhere. He pinned missing person posters around town, spoke to journalists, and kept Mary's story alive in the public eye. His resolve was a beacon of hope, not just for his family, but for the entire community. He kept Mary's room untouched, a shrine to the sister he loved, a constant reminder of the void left by her absence. The room was a time capsule, filled with her belongings, her scent, her essence. It was a place where Thomas could feel close to her, where he could remember the happy times they shared before everything changed. The pain of her disappearance was a wound that refused to heal, a constant ache that never fully subsided. Every day without her was a struggle, a battle against the despair that threatened to consume him. But through it all, Thomas held on to the hope that one day he would find Mary and bring her back home where she belonged.